welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of February 2nd, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me today, two individuals watching for that groundhog.
I'm Benjamin Daniel Lawless, and I'm Benjamin Daniel Lawless.
I'm Devon Kraft.
And I'm Benjamin Daniel Lawless.
Well, neither of you took the bait, but it's Groundhog's Day. Again, I've been living through this day.
I just did the entire joke. that was my Groundhog's Day.
That
joke.
was your Oh, okay. I didn't get. See, this is what I'm
Why do
talking
you think
about.
he was saying his name so much?
It's Ben. Who knows? But I didn't get it. All right.
well,
Welcome to the
dear
Stephen is
listener,
Dumb podcast.
Yeah, dear listener, I'm sure you have you're with it a little bit more than all of our co-hosts, I think.
Did I not have enough coffee? I think I didn't have enough coffee. I think that's what I'm going to blame it on. Yeah. Here we are.
Right.
Did either of you guys see what the ground rat said? Not that it matters.
I didn't.
Yeah,
No idea.
No, I
Me
didn't.
neither. Okay, cool. Let's move on because there's nothing scientific about Groundhog's Day, so we don't have to talk about it at all.
Yeah, it's funny how tradition, gets us stuck in doing these things.
I mean,
But it's
wouldn't
fun,
wouldn't it be
right?
great if that was like the highlight of the week? Like everyone just talking about Groundhog's Day and there was no other news going on. Wouldn't that be wonderful? What a time.
Yeah.
Devon, you're here. You're back. You weren't here last week. What happened?
Last week, man, it's been a long week.
It's been a long time without you, my friend.
Okay, so
Keep it going.
I tell you all about it when I see you again. Whoa! No, we're not doing that.
So I may have heard in the news like half the country was hit by a winter storm, the eastern half of the country,
Yeah.
including where we are. And so last weekend, we were essentially snowed in, like snow, ice, like the roads were just iced over. So we knew it was coming. So we, had gone to the store and were prepared. But so Jen's mom stayed with us because she lives somewhere where it's more likely the power would go out. So she stayed with us that weekend. And then Jen's brother, who lives in California, or lived in California, he was moving to Mississippi. And he happened to be passing through Texas that weekend. And his plan was just to like stop here for the night and then keep going. And then in like a month, once he was established in Mississippi, come back and visit. But because of the road conditions, he stopped and stayed with us for the weekend. He's actually still here. And
Hi, Jen's
so
brother.
we had
He's like right
he's
there.
a cool guy. So we had unexpected guests at that time, which was fun because so we, like as I've said before, we live next door to Jen's sister, and so her husband and 3 kids. So it was basically for like the weekend, just all hanging out together. And then the kids' school was canceled on Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, even though by Wednesday it shouldn't have been canceled because while there was still ice on the ground, the roads were clear. But just out of an abundance of caution, they closed the schools on Wednesday as well. I still worked because I work remotely, so it didn't affect that. So that's why last weekend I didn't record. And then we had already planned to go to Nashville, leaving on Thursday and coming back yesterday. For the sole purpose of meeting up with Jen's sister-in-law and her family. I say sister-in-law because you'd expect her brother would be there too, but her brother passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately. So we're meeting up with her sister-in-law and her kids, and we had planned to meet in Nashville, not because we necessarily had anything particular we wanted to do in Nashville. Nashville's a cool place, but with kids, it's not really a vacation destination with kids. It was really just a center point between the two families to meet up. But because of the winter storm, we had thought that it might not be a great idea. Nashville was actually hit, or all of Tennessee was hit way worse than we were.
So you were driving into the storm.
Basically, yeah. Like the storm had passed, but it was still like frozen, tons of trees down, power lines down. Like Nashville, like if you had looked at the news last week, Nashville was like, we're calling in workers from other parts of Tennessee to help clear streets and get the power back and all these things. Like
wow.
it was not a place you would want to go into.
But you went
and
anyway
then
because of how brave you are.
yeah, and then Jen's sister-in-law driving from the East Coast into Nashville.
Yeah.
Like they were getting hit with a new storm, and she's like, by the time we're leaving Nashville, or even sooner, like the roads between Nashville and going back to Virginia were going to be almost impassable. So she's like, I just can't risk, because she has 3 kids, and it'll just be her and 3 kids. She's like, there's no reason to risk that driving to Nashville.
Yeah.
So we were like, so on Wednesday, the day before we were going to leave, and we'd already known for sure that her sister-in-law wasn't going to go. We were like, well, why are we even going? Because we're just going to be, it's going to be us, like the people who live in this house and the people who live in the house right next to us. And Jen's brother now, who's staying with us just while the storm passes, or going to Nashville to hang out. So all of us driving, which is like, it's like a 9-hour drive, but with stops and stuff, it's essentially a 10-hour trip.
Yeah.
So I was a big advocate of not going, because I had already taken off. I had taken off Thursday, Friday, and today. Like I'm off today, and that was just because when we were originally planning the trip, I didn't know if we were coming back Sunday or Monday, so I just took Monday off just because. And even though had we not gone, I probably would have been like, well, I probably should work some of those days, so I probably would have ended up working like Friday and maybe today or whatever. But anyway, so a lot of discussions about it. And the thing is, so yeah, and we had contacted the Airbnb host, and we were way past the time where we could get a refund. But there is an exception for basically a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Call it something else, but I don't remember what they call it. But I guess Airbnb hadn't officially designated Nashville that. And so since they hadn't done that, the host was like, well, we don't have to give you a refund because Airbnb doesn't consider this bad enough for that. So that's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
but they're like,
giving corporations the ability to tell us what the weather is probably not the best. But
yeah,
what do I know?
Well, and so Airbnb so they were like, well, you'll get your taxes and fees back, which is not a whole lot, but it's something. And then the host was like, well, and we won't charge you the cleaning fee. Which of course Airbnb, the cleaning fee is way too high, but that's like another $200.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, we'll get some money back. There's the cost of gas, which we won't spend if we travel.
Food, probably. Cost of food.
Yeah, there's all the other incidental costs.
Yeah.
So another factor though was that Jen's sister, who lives next to us, and her husband, they both have kids from Jen's sister has the 3 kids from a prior marriage, not from her current husband, and her husband has a kid from his prior marriage. And it's a whole mess with them and their ex-spouses it's so messed up.
Yeah.
Neither of their ex-spouses will agree to trade weekends so that all the kids are together on weekends.
Yikes.
Wow.
It's horrible.
That's great.
Yeah, I know. It's and they have said the ex-spouses are like, oh, you just want a weekend without kids so you guys can hang out or whatever. Like, no, the kids really, really want to be together. Like they love hanging out together. It's very cool that they're so close with their step siblings. But anyway, so to get all those, so they had all the kids. It's 3 kids from Jen's sister's marriage and 1 kid, a daughter, which is kind of interesting too because we all have boys, but she's female, obviously. So
is there
they
a more
were like,
awkward way to say that, Devon? Can you try that
she's
again?
female. Yeah, her daughter, who's
the daughter is female. My name is Devon.
Yes. So the problem was if they had let their ex-spouses know that the trip was canceled, they would want to rescind their agreement to have the kids hang out together. So it would have caused problems that way. Pretty much because of that, they had to go. They're like, if we don't go, we're gonna have issues with our exes, and we're gonna. Because his daughter lives in Dallas, which is 2 hours away. So they already had to like pick her up on the day before we're going to drive 10 hours. And then on the way back, they had to go past Tyler to Dallas, 2 extra hours and 2 hours back to drop her off. So, but even so, if they had like canceled the trip, his ex-wife was like, well, then you better bring her back right now, which it's like already, late. It's so insane and terrible.
Yeah.
But so because of that, they're like, well, we have to go, or, all these plans we've made with all these negotiations, which already her ex-husband has already been like, well, I didn't agree to that. So there's already a problem with it. But so that was kind of like the one factor that forced us to go, which, okay, that's fine. I'm sorry, this is very long, but it's been an interesting weekend. So the Airbnb host was like, well, we have people staying there right now, and they say it's fine. They say there's like no problems with the place itself. All the businesses around there are open and everything's fine. Like there's no reason to not go. Like it's fine. So we get there, and part of this place, it's a really cool place. It's like, it's like 4 stories high. Like the bottom was the garage, and it was like a game room with like a pool table and air hockey and things. And then there was, multiple level, and the top level was the roof. And the roof was a really cool like hangout area with a fire pit and all these things, except the roof was covered in ice. Like just covered in a good like 3 or 4 inches of ice. And the where we would park, covered in ice. Like we were slipping and sliding. The stairway up to the place was just covered in ice. And we're like, you said this place was fine, and it's covered in ice. And they're like power, like a block away. Like every block whenever you drove around, you'd have to go around like down to power lines. And like, this place is not like, oh, it's fine. It's like, no, this place is obviously a disaster site. So you lied to us.
It's not like war-torn wherever.
No, it's
Democrat
not that bad,
city.
But the fact that they were like, no, it's fine. Like,
Yeah, that's
don't worry
ridiculous.
about it. And then then we found out that there was a boil notice, which is, if pipes
What's
burst
that?
and there's, so if there's ever a possibility of contamination in your drinking water, you get a boil notice, because it's like, we can't guarantee that the drinking water isn't contaminated from like sewage. And so we got a boil notice on our phones. The host never told us about any kind of boil notice. So I don't know if this is what caused us all to get sick, but we like on the second night we were there, Elliot was up all night sick and throwing up. And then the next day I was sick, and then the next night Nolan was sick, and so were some of the other kids, and I was already sick the whole time. And then yesterday we had to drive home. And I felt okay enough to drive part of the way. And then when I got home, I felt really bad again. So last night I was like, that thing where you're sick and you're just like, you feel freezing, but you're like covered in blankets. And so you're just sweating profusely, even though you still feel cold.
Yeah, that's called having a fever.
Yeah. The whole having a fever thing. So I had that like one of the last night we were there, I had that last night. I thought I was fine. And then last night I had that. And so I woke up just like peeling my clothes off because I was drenched in sweat.
Go on.
And so I just got up like an hour ago and took a shower.
Stop making it spicy.
What?
Steven's trying to make it spicy.
Spicy.
I mean, some of our listeners might enjoy that. I don't know.
Anyway, so that's been my like last week and a half with the snowstorm, traveling, getting sick.
Wow, what fun.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like 5 days off of work. I was like on Wednesday, it's like, hey, I got the next 5 days off. I should be like very excited that I'm about to have 5 days off of work. And even when it was decided we were going to go, I'm like, okay, at least I have Monday. I took Monday off. We'll be home Sunday night. I'm not going to work Monday. Like I'll just use that as like my one free day to have, just do what I want, play guitar, like relax, and just like treat Tuesday as my first day back to work. But of course I was sick all night last night, and then I was sick this morning. And I don't feel great now, so it's not like I'm going to be all cheery and like, let's do some fun stuff on this Monday I have off. I'm going to be like, no, I'm probably just going to go back to bed. So,
Oh, well, thanks for getting out of bed for us, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So maybe next time, don't go out in an ice storm to an Airbnb with a boil notice.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds... What fun was there anything that you did that made it worth it? Because it just sounds like it was just an awful time all around. And,
No, it was fun hanging out with people. Like, the first night we were there, when you're on a trip and you finally get to your destination, you're happy to be there and you hang out. Like we played games and we're up late that first night. And second night, even, it was fun. Like we didn't do a whole lot in that like Nashville specific stuff. We did go to like the Grand Ole Opry, not like to see a show, but just to like see it. And then we went. There's a place next door to it called it has a weird name, but it's called the Gaylord, which is like this huge, like I don't know if you call it a hotel or what, a resort, but it's like this really big, like can't even explain it. It's like it has like in the center of it, there's 3 different central areas that each one's different, and it's like being at like almost like an amusement park type level of detail. Where it's like one area is just like a botanical garden, and the other one is like this huge like water area with an island in the middle, and the other one is kind of this different thing where there's different like pathways and restaurants and stuff. So we saw that was cool. We went to a restaurant that was like very like kitschy with different Nashville type Southern things on the walls, and then we did walk around downtown where all the bars are just to see it. Like obviously we couldn't go in anywhere because we had kids, and this was in the middle of the day. And the whole time we were there, it was still freezing. It was like 10 degrees walking around.
Ooh.
But but the bars, like it would be awesome to go there without kids because like there's like 4 blocks where it's just like every single establishment is a really cool bar with a band playing. Like we were there like in the middle of the day, and every single bar had like a band playing. So they just always have live music and stuff going on. So for adults like hanging out like that would be awesome to go do that stuff.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm going to move us right along. Thank you for sharing, Devon.
That
was quite
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Jeez. It was.
You've been through the ringer.
It was pretty terrible here as well. I mean, it was low 70s.
Yeah, just really, really uninhabitable here on the central coast of California.
Terrible.
Like
terrible place.
Stephen, you and I, we were huddled together for like drinking coffee and
sharing body heat for warmth.
To
stay alive.
Yeah. Oh, only warmth.
Oh, that's it.
I'll have that. Yeah,
that's all we were sharing.
Yeah, no, there was nothing spicy about that.
No, it's completely normal. That reminds me, I watched, and this isn't on our list at all, but Martine and I watched Heated Rivalry, the first episode of it.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Is it good?
I mean, if you're into man love, sure.
Yeah.
Right
on.
That's about all I have to say about it. I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea, but I could see why people are liking it.
Was it Christina that brought it up at dinner that other night?
Yeah. Because I think I want to say
that was the first I'd heard of it.
It's based on some novels, a book series perhaps. It's an HBO show now. It has nothing to do with science or science fiction. It's a love story with a couple of hockey players. I don't know if love's the right word. That first episode, at least, there was a lot of, I wouldn't call it love, but things were happening for sure.
Okay.
Anyways.
Cool.
So that's my review of the first episode of Heated Rivalry.
All right. Are you going to continue watching it?
No, I don't have any interest in it, but
will Martine continue watching it?
I think she's watched another episode, I want to say.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure. It's it's whatever. What?
I never heard of it. I'm just looking it up.
Oh, okay. So just as a recap, in case nobody really knows what it's about, it's about 2 hockey players that are a bit of a star-crossed lovers situation. At least in that first episode, where these 2 men who are, and I want to say that it's in like the 90s or so. Like it's a bit of a period piece, but they are both very much.
That makes me feel so old.
Yeah. Oh,
my gosh.
Last century. Yeah.
How can you say that?
We are old.
How can I hear it?
No, we are old. And at least in that first episode, they are very much closeted, but come together to know each other several times over the course of their like it's weird because there's a lot of time jumps because they only get together when their teams play, and so they get together. There's like a steamy moment, and then it's like 6 months later, and they're like playing again, that kind of thing. Anyways, I mean, it's not a bad show. It's not I'm not a big dramatic romantic love story person. I like science fiction. I've been watching Cowboy Bebop, the anime.
Oh wow, which you historically were like, not for me.
Yeah.
Compared to the live action. So has anything that you've watched changed your mind?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I think I've watched about half of that. It says first season, but it's the only season, I think. And it's coming at it from a different angle. It's a really good show. And now that I have more anime under my belt, I kind of understand the way that the stories are told, and it's not in a Western way. Like we a lot of times have like a main protagonist and then supporting characters, and they're all introduced at once, and off you go on an adventure. And that's not the way a lot of these animes that I've been watching works. There's a collection of main characters that it kind of ebbs and flows, and I think it took about half the season to get the entire like crew that you see in the opening titles to get them together.
Yes,
and so it's a different. It's not what I was expecting or what I signed up for, if you will, the first time I tried watching it. Which I kind of had a feeling. I was like, this looks like I would like it, and I've heard it's really good. Why am I not enjoying it? I wasn't in the right mindset. I'm in the right mindset now. And unfortunately, I've been watching it, and then I was like, why did people not like the live action again? And then I turned on the Netflix live action and watched about 15 minutes of it, and I was like, oh, this completely missed the mark. I get it.
Yes. Which and so like it's kind of crazy how you and we started with the live action. We're like, well, that was really good.
Yeah, that was
like
a fun
it's
little show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like trying to be something it's not. It's just what it is, and for what it is, it's decently acted. It's got some funny aha moments. But yeah, like my buddies, I've got a coworker who's like a big fan of the anime. He's like, yeah, I gave it about 10 minutes on the live action. I said, no, thank you. Bounced right off of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really odd. And having had that experience with One Piece as well, where I watched a lot of the anime and then tried watching the live action and could not.
Same issue, huh?
Yeah. So the same issue that my coworker had for Cowboy Bebop, So yeah, if you're starting fresh, go ahead and start with the live action on these shows.
Yeah,
and if you like it enough, come to the original, but recognize it's not going to be the same, and in most cases, it's better for not being the same. So. Yeah.
Yeah, it really reminded me of like when you go like watch a movie and you're like, oh, it's a great movie. And like, oh, that was based on a novel. And then you read the novel and you're like, oh, that was like 10 times better. It's that same vibe. I watched the live action version if you're interested, and then hit up the anime, and it's different. It's way different. So for those of you who maybe have no idea what we're talking about, Cowboy Bebop is an Japanese animation show that came out, I don't know, a long time ago. It feels like
early to mid 90s.
Was it that old?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's kind of funny. Like as we were starting to watch it, my son was like, "This looks so much better than One Piece does," and it was made like 15 years before One Piece. I'm like, "Yeah, well, one is an adaptation of a like I don't know, yeah, they're serving different
audiences.
Purposes,
yeah,
right?
different, totally different audiences as well. This is very much adult.
not just adult, but like artful. The entire purpose of the show is like where different genres of art meet. And you kind of find that in the name of the show and in the name of every episode, because they all are, every episode is about a different type of jazz and, or music in general. And that impacts the story and how it's told from episode to episode. So like it's an exploration of music as much as it's an exploration of slice of life stories in a dystopian future.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting show. It's very nuanced. It has it has a very specific story to tell, and it doesn't hold your hand with it, and that's fine. From what I remember from the Netflix show, it was like action fun show, which is fine. You can have action fun shows, but to call it the same thing was kind of a bummer. Because even like that first scene, as I was watching it, the first scene in the anime is like a casino hold up kind of situation. Casino in space is getting hold up, and then for some reason, the main characters are there to be action heroes instead of bounty hunters that they are. And as I was watching it, I was rewriting it in my head for like how it should have been. And I was like, oh, this had potential and they did it wrong. But it's old news now. But
you're talking about the live action.
The live action. Oh yeah.
Starting with starting with the hold up in the casino, which is played for a lot of laughs. It's got serviceable action to it, but artful it is not.
No. No, it just the point of view of what was happening, like in the anime, the characters often find themselves in situations that they fell into instead of caused, and then have to figure out a way out or around or back away from the situation. And they're really good at that, and that's where like the fun action comes from in the show. It's like, oh wow, they were able to do that thing like just barely. And in the Netflix show, it was more like instead of them reacting to things, it was more of a straightforward like attack, like a lot. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this. I'm getting bogged down. The anime is great. The only way that I found to watch it was had to get a subscription to Crunchyroll, which I did to watch it, and then when I'm done, there it goes, unless other shows become available that I'm interested in. But anyways, I've been watching that, getting inspired, getting ready to build a world for Orbital Blues, the RPG I want to run. And so that's
okay. Now it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. But there's been a couple other shows that have been happening, and our time is quickly slipping here. But A Night of the Seven Kingdoms has premiered. That's the newest Game of Thrones show, or universe show, if you will. Way different vibe than the other shows, and they let you know right away that this is a show about the small folk, not about the big muckety mucks.
And how much better it is for that, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
it's been pretty good.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so you've been watching
it.
What about you, Devin? Have you caught it at all?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. Yeah, good show. I think the third episode just came out last night. So, and it's good
with a lot of mind bending things that you could see a mile away coming, but when it finally drops, it's like, okay, here we go.
Well, like
what the rest of the season's gonna be like.
The main character, he's been told he's dumb, and he acts a little dumb, and in fact, he is a little dumb. And so for us as the people watching this show, you're like, hey man, you didn't get that? Oh, he didn't get it. And that's kind of a common refrain.
Well,
but on purpose and played for laughs. Not laughs. Like, it's not a funny show, but like, you get it.
It harkens back to some of my favorite parts of Game of Thrones, which were the moment to moment character bits. You know, you don't need lots of universe ending, zombies versus dragons. Like,
No, you certainly
Yeah.
don't.
I don't need that. Maybe others do, and whatever. But this is the appropriate. Like, I'm down for a small scale show like this.
Yeah, and this juxtaposed with the House of the Dragon, like, okay, you can have both versions. You want the high muckety muck, royalty and dragons and all that. Great. You want a hedge knight just trying to survive. Great. Like, they can both exist. About 80 years apart timeline wise, but they can both exist on TV at the same time. It's fine. I'll watch them both.
I love that. I love that every episode is like a smooth 30 minutes. It's like, it's so refreshing.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh wow! I haven't. I just assumed it was an hour-long drama. It's 30 minutes.
No, yeah, it's 30 minutes. It's no 2-hour long episodes like we got with the final season of Game of Thrones. It's not a serious show.
That's a incentive to watch it, because I think I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm in the mood to get into like another drama in this universe. But if it's only a half an hour, then
And I wouldn't say
it's
drama.
less drama.
I'd say adventure. More adventure, less drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some great comedic beats to it, and slice of life. It's great.
Yeah, slice of life of a hedge knight. It says the average run times are from 31 to 42 minutes. I think 42 minutes was the season opener.
The pilot.
Yeah. It's
from
got.
there on,
there's
it does
only
not.
6 episodes, so 42 minutes, 33,
getting
31,
better and better.
34.
It's like should have just not made it, and I would have
31.
been thrilled.
Yeah, if they just released it as a bunch of TikTok shorts, you'd be down.
You just have to
For sure.
just swipe for the next episode. It's great. No, check it out. It's a worthy distraction, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah, but you've been watching something else, Ben, that perhaps we need to dive a little deeper into.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
I am. So, y'all, I don't care what you've heard about Star Trek Starfleet Academy, because there's a lot of talk going on about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if you don't want to watch the first 3 episodes. If you like Star Trek, check out episode 4, and you don't need to watch the first 3 if you don't think you're going to like it. That's okay. But episode 4 of Starfleet Academy's first season is peak Star Trek. It is a Klingon episode, and the basic gist of it is that have you guys watched it?
Nope.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No chance.
Okay. All right.
No,
So
no chance to.
the basic gist of this episode is so the show takes place in the 32nd century. It's 800 years after most everything else we've seen in Star Trek. It comes after Discovery seasons 3 through 5, and the comic books The Last Starship, which more on that in a moment. The idea here about this particular episode is there's a Klingon at Starfleet Academy. His name is Jaden, and he. It turns out that Klingons in this time era are refugees. They are they're without a home, and when a ship gets that's carrying a bunch of Klingons from a bunch of different houses is in trouble and in danger. There's this idea that the Federation has to come in and help. And so Federation, they're like, hey, well, we found this planet in Federation space that is that's very close to the old Klingon homeworld of Kronos. And we want, like, nobody's currently living there. We want to give it to the Klingons because they're dealing with potential extinction. And the Klingons say, no, we don't want a handout. We're Klingons. We fight for what we get, and to accept a gift from the Federation would be completely outrageous for us. Federation's like, well, but you're going to die. Like, well, what would you have us do? And so the idea here, told through a kind of debate club at Starfleet Academy, is an examination of what does it mean to, like, is it ethically appropriate for the Federation to force the Klingons to take a planet in order to save the entire species? Kind of a
How do
reverse
you
prime
force
direction.
them? How do you force them to take a
How-
planet, though? I mean, do you
how
force
would
them
you
onto
force
the
them?
planet?
How would you force them, Devon? Exactly. How? Yes.
I would challenge
Yeah.
them to a thumb war and allow them to win and say, "You won.
Well,
It's your planet now. You win."
well,
Right?
all right then.
You trick
Well,
them into
so-
winning it because that's what they want to do.
That's funny. We were having this conversation because we were talking about the refund from the Airbnb, and because
Yeah.
another part of it was not getting the full refund. And Jen's sister, she likes to be very conservative with money, and so Jen told me, she's like, just tell her that the Airbnb people wrote you back and said you'd get a full refund, and we'll give her the money back, and we'll just pretend like it went perfectly. Like, yeah, here's all your money back.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, obviously that's not going to work. That's lame. But then it reminded me, I'm like, well, that's kind of like the episode of Friends where Joey or Chandler wants to give Joey a bunch of money, but Joey won't accept it. So Chandler's like, well, let's play this card game. And they're like, he makes up this card game. He's like, you got that card? Well, here's $100. Like, as if Joey is just really good at this made up card game, and Chandler's just giving him a ton of money. Like, they could do that. Just be like, yeah, let's play this game. Oh my God, you just won a planet. You got an ace and a 3. That's the planet pair.
The good
there you
old
go.
planet winners.
So what also ties us together is the actor who plays Jaden, who not only is dealing with these issues of like his species, potentially not being around, but also his backstory and his family who are on that ship that's gotten into the whatever problem the ship is going through, and his family that disowned him for wanting to be a medic instead of being a warrior. He's also dealing with extreme anxiety at public speaking, and getting over that. So kind of the whole, like, everything about this episode is kind of exactly what I want from Star Trek.
Okay.
I want the galactic politics. I want the personal stories that actually make sense, like emotional beats that make sense for the characters and the species and who they are and their cultures, and the conflict that arises from it. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, this episode was an A+ masterclass in Star Trek. And, I invite anybody, like, you don't need to see the first 3 episodes. They're fine. They're good. I really enjoyed them. I've talked with a few people who watched some of the first episode and was like, it's really not for me. I'm like, that's totally understandable. I get where they're coming from. Yeah, like, this episode 4 was incredible, and I'm really curious where the rest of the season's going to go from here. I'm hoping that it continues on stories like this.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And then one thing too. I know I keep on saying that Star Trek comics are the best Star Trek for like the last decade and a half.
Yes.
The Last Starship is a comic book series that I highly recommend that people that are interested in this era read. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that some of the beats that are happening in The Last Starship are actively what's causing the situations that are happening in Starfleet Academy on a galactic scale. And the Last Starship is a noir comic. It is heartbreaking. It is, which is is a weird thing to say about a comic book set in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you get very logical and plausible reasons why why Earth seceded from the Federation, and why the Klingons are now refugees, and it's incredible. Amongst all the things that you probably have read about the Last Starship, like if you look it up, they're going to say like, oh, hey, there's these, Captain Kirk is back in the 32nd century, and you're going to read that, and that those things are happening. Yeah, yes, and they're fine.
Be a clone, or what'd they do? How'd that happen? Time travel?
Yeah, clone. So you might recall in Star Trek Picard when I think it was in the 3rd season, they go to the
MacGuffin warehouse, and they found his DNA.
The MacGuffin warehouse, and
they had his body or DNA or something.
They got lore out of there. Well,
yeah.
In the background, there was this thing like an LCARS display that said Project Phoenix, James T. Kirk.
Okay.
So that is a story thread that they pick up, and since the Borg Queen Agnes Jurati is the chief engineer on the USS Omega.
Right.
Part of her joint. Yeah. See, you're asking, and like
I didn't ask these are things anything.
These are things that make sense in the comic.
Yeah. That
you've probably heard like about it, and you're like, oh, hey, what do you mean that's what's happening? And that's kind of like what they're leading with in terms of the like, hey, come to this comic to show how we narrow, how we bring together all these disparate parts of the Star Trek universe. But really, like, the story is, the burn happens, all dilithium goes inert, and all warp cores explode. 3 trillion people die. 96% of Starfleet is just gone and vaporized in an instant, and it hits all of the entire galaxy at once. And the Klingons decide to go on a murderous rampage. So they send a new, like they get cobbled together a fleet to head towards Earth and drop all of their warp cores in Earth's atmosphere and destroy, obliterate Earth.
Good for them. I'm sure that works out great.
The captain of the Omega, and spoilers for The Last Starship, the captain of the Omega goes like finds a way to beam on board the ship, kills the Klingon commander there, and then says, all you Klingon warriors, you are now bound to me. You have a new mission. And he sends them all back to the colonies that they came from to drop their warp cores and wipe out 26 Klingon colonies as well in one foul swoop. An eye for an eye. And that is how the galaxy turns into what the Discovery jumped into the future, a universe is far closer to Star Wars than Star Trek.
I was about to say, there's an awful lot of war happening in this Trek-verse, but I guess the war-verse isn't doing so hot, so someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it, and someone's doing it really good. The Last Starship is an incredible story, and beyond that, given that they have no more warp bubbles that they can rely on, now they have to deal with Borg transwarp in order to go and render aid to different planets, and they do things a little bit more brute force. So it introduces relativistic time dilation into Star Trek, and so a 4-month trip on board the USS Omega, they get to see the changes that happen over 23 years in the Federation.
See, there you go. Got some good Trek stuff.
Yes. No, this series is so good, and there are 4 issues in, and and because it's comics, most people are never going to know about it. But I'm really, really stoked about all the Star Trek that is coming out right now.
Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna call an audible right here and say no future now this week, because we're already 44 minutes in.
Yeah, man.
Which is fine, because we talked about a lot of good sci-fi stuff here. and that's okay. We're going to continue talking sci-fi stuff after the break. We're going to take our break now. When we come back, we're doing book club. Be sure and read up The Song of a Non-Human Intelligence by Mikhail Garcia. We have a link in the show notes, strangehorizons.com. So go read that. It'll take you about 5 minutes. And when you come back, we're going to talk about it. So we'll be right back. Hey, you. Yeah, you sitting there listening to this for free, like some kind of podcast freeloader. Look, I'm not saying you owe us, but if you enjoy our deep dives into AI, space, and comic book mayhem, maybe toss a coin to your podcasters. Join our Patreon, get into our Discord, grab some exclusive content, and finally achieve that deep, satisfying sense of superiority over your non-Patreon listeners. Just imagine their sad, uninformed little faces. Patreon.com/Science Faction Podcast, because knowledge is power, and power is best hoarded behind a paywall. And we're back.
Heyo.
Hi.
And
Hey,
a big and a big thank you to our patrons, Renee and Josh. Thanks, y'all. Here we are.
Yeah.
And so if if you're a patron, you got my thoughts on Tron Ares. I talked quite a bit about it.
I mean, you got
So,
some of our thoughts, too.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't want them, but they were there.
all good.
Also something else, speaking of Tron and speaking of technologies and speaking of patrons, I got myself a new VR headset because I
Nice.
know my old one was having mic issues. So now when we have one of our meetups in Walkabout Mini Golf, I'll be able to talk again. So I'm looking forward to that. Josh, count your days, because I'm coming for you. In VR.
I mean,
in VR golf.
it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice just hanging out with you and you couldn't talk. Like that was kind of refreshing.
That's a little
Stephen.
different, isn't it? It's a whole nother vibe.
It was a very
shrugging.
different vibe. But I also did not appreciate the like, hey, we're trying to like I don't want to be IT for my friends. And so like trying to
no, that's rough.
yeah, like that was frustrating
Yeah.
on your behalf as someone who cares about you, man.
No, hey,
Yeah.
you know, when you get a brand new headset piece of technology and you get invited to play a game right away, like you're gonna miss things in the effort to try and fast track your way to fun. You can't really fast track your way to fun with VR technology. You got to take your time. You got to learn it. And this whole headset and its menu navigation, everything. Like when I first popped it on, I was like, oh, they're doing something different. Okay, let's figure this out. And so it took me a while to get my VR legs within the meta ecosystem, which I don't like. There's a lot of crap, and I'm really happy that Valve has a app or whatever it's called to connect to Steam and do Steam VR very easily through Wi-Fi, because that's pretty much the only way I'm going to use it, because I tried some of the native stuff and it was beyond junk. So I'm like, all right, back to Steam we go. Until the Steam frame comes out, which we've talked about before. That's Steam's VR thing, and we don't know when it's coming, but it's coming, and it's going to be awesome. That's all fine and dandy, but right now it's book club time. So take off your VR headsets and read a book.
Yeah, so next week we're going to be reading from strangehorizons.com, The Orchard Village Catalog by Parker Peavyhouse. Links will be in our show notes. It also has a podcast episode where you can listen to someone reading it to you if that's your gig. But The Orchard Village Catalog will be next week. But this week, The Song of a Non-Human Intelligence by Mikhail Garcia.
Yeah. We all read it,
my friends.
now, right?
Yeah.
I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we paused the show to make sure that all of us had read it.
I had not done my homework, dear listeners, but
It happens. It's a
here I
busy
am.
time. There's lots of things to think about. You were trying to figure out Tron, so it's fine. You were busy.
Dude.
But
I have so many thoughts.
let's return back to cetaceans in space. We had the Star Trek 4, right? We've got Cetacean Ops, and now we've got something else to talk about.
Yeah, man.
So
I
let's talk about it.
Yeah. So the Song of Non-Human Intelligence, as you kind of mentioned, it's all about whales, about humpback whales and their song, and the the search from humans to try to connect through language with humpback whales. Like, hey, they're singing. What is it that they're saying? Can we find a way to translate their song into into our speech? And so the this entire story is a first person tale from the point of view of Willie, the Whale Intelligence Language Learning Integrated Engine, which is an AI developed that was placed within a developing whale fetus and grown up, adopted by a whale pod, and is now kind of moving along with the whale pod in order to try to bridge the gap between humans and whales.
Well, Zoe found out that I'm doing
It turns out the whales are plotting to take over humanity, so it's feeding that information to the humans so the humans can nuke the whales.
That is completely not the story I read, Devon.
Gotta nuke something.
Gotta nuke something.
This is interesting because the first thing that came to my mind when the story was explaining like what's going on, I was like, oh, they made like whale Cylons. Like that's cool. Like it's a whale body but with an AI mind essentially.
Yeah.
And then they released it to say go learn things or they talk about training it a bunch on stuff. And then very quickly realizing that there is no direct translation between whale song and human speech. There's no this means that.
And it even had to like reprogram itself to kind of get rid of some of what was intended to help bridge that gap, but it didn't. And so it's like, that's not going to work. And so it even like kind of rewrote its own programming to better understand whales, but still couldn't really translate that to humans for them.
Yeah, mostly because it lacks the context of the environment and the culture of whales. Like even if you were to get like what it written out in English, it would lose so much in the translation that it would be unusable. So
let me read a quote real quick. From the moment I heard the whale sing, I realized that human intelligence had set a limit for me as an AI. Their thought patterns, language construction, and anthropogenic projection onto other species would never allow me to correctly interpret those marine mammals' songs. So yeah, it's right there. And that's when it talks about the plasticity of the cetacean brain, rewrite the code, blah, blah, blah. We vocalize based on the medium of propagation and the resolution of the information required. Our song evolves over time, and that is why it is sung loudly, so that its wisdom can reach and be understood by anyone who can listen. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and it even said like, if first contact is made, it might be in the form of the whales speaking English, essentially. Like they might learn through generations of learning from this AI about humans enough to be able to communicate with humans.
Right. Yeah, being able to be a bridge from that way, right? But will humans be willing to listen to how much we have to sing? It asks at the end.
Did you guys like this story?
Yes.
Yeah, it's this kind of it's kind of sci-fi I really like. And could have maybe been we always say a good short story would be also usually a good book. Like this could be the beginning of a book where you do go through those generations and then see what the world is like when whales and humans eventually do make contact.
Oh, like a Stephen Baxter-esque like 1,000-year time skip.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
a
there
book
for it.
There's a book called Children of Time.
Adrian,
I can look up
something.
the author.
Yeah, it's a Russian dude, I think.
Well, he's got kind of a Russian name. I'm not sure if he actually is Russian.
Oh, well.
Anyway,
true.
it's a really good book, and it's about spiders being in the role of the whales in this book, and spiders because of human influence, they were intended to. I'm trying to remember the story was. I think there were like primate-like creatures on this planet, and they were going to use like a virus to uplift the primate creatures into being more human, but instead somehow it got into the spider population, and the spiders became the intelligent species on the planet. And he does a great job of writing from the spiders' perspective and how they have their own culture and, you know, way of looking at things, and then developing technology through what resources they have as spiders. And it's really cool. They even end up using ants as computers, but
wow. Ants as
yeah.
computers. Okay. All right. I remember you talking
Well, they
about this
explain,
before.
yeah, they explain how like ants, like, you know, they're somewhat programmed because they react to what, like pheromones or whatever, to follow patterns, and they do things specifically based on, you know, what the hive is supposed to do or the colony, and then do that. And so if you can manipulate what they react to, you can essentially have them doing calculations for you. So that's kind of
Yeah.
where that goes. But that's a really cool book. He even has a sequel. I think he's got even another sequel. I read the first sequel, which and I don't remember how it connects, but it ends up a similar thing happens, but in connection with the first book, where it happens to a water planet with cephalopods.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
You talked about that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and that's interesting because then he has to write from the perspective of a creature that has, because cephalopods, like octopus, have kind of two brains. They have the central brain, and they have a kind of the brain that's spread out to control their legs, and how it's, we obviously don't know because we don't know what it's like to be a cephalopod, but kind of trying to have the idea that like it doesn't control maybe what its legs does, or I don't even remember how
It has
exactly explained.
they have brains in each one of their tentacles.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah. Very
so
different.
it's interesting thing to write about. And so this story, I'm like, you could make it a story, like a full thing where you have what is it like when they make contact? What is the human world like when that eventually happens? And this AI, is this AI body able to reproduce with other whales? And so does its like offspring have an element of this AI in it?
That'd be
That could be
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. So I actually found this story to be a little dry. That's probably why Devon likes it so much.
None of those pesky human characters.
Exactly. I mean, it's good. I enjoy the sci-fi aspects of it, and it's well constructed in that sense. It's just a little dry to read, but it's a 5-minute read, so it wasn't a big deal. If this was expanded into, novel length, I would need more human connection to enjoy the story, I think. This did immediately remind me of a video I watched recently. I threw a link in the show notes. Joe Scott, a YouTuber that does a lot of science stuff. He did a collection of previous videos that he called, let's see, the smartest, dumbest, and weirdest animals, and it's a bunch of his old videos about animals. And one of the things he's got a whole section on cephalopods. He's got talks about like mythical creatures and what they could have like really been, all kinds of stuff. And this reminded me of that because he does. There's a section in this where he talked about how cetaceans possibly speak in 3 dimensions, like their song. And it's in this story as well, which is why I was a little excited that their song may literally translate into a 3D image. It's the sonar, bounce back of sound and how that's constructed. And so to decode a whale song, you might get like the way to decode it would be with like 3D, holographic images. Like, oh, this is what's being said, right? It's not. Doesn't straight translate into words. It translates into objects, which is bizarre. And actually, he name checks, Joe Scott name checks Arrival, which that whole story was talked about language and how the aliens in Arrival like think cyclically because their minds work completely differently, right? And it's they know their entire timeline and they speak as such, and it's just completely alien. which is fun. I mean, that's cool. That's from like a sci-fi point of view. It's interesting when an author or a creator takes the time to like say it's not just humans with bits glued on. Like this is a whole different way of thinking, and there is no easy analog for humans to understand. And when a writer can do that effectively, it's fantastic science fiction. I love it.
Right on.
Yeah. So do we have anything else to say about the Song of a Non-Human Intelligence?
Not for me. I think it's I hope that it's kind of a bummer that a ocean-based story was so dry for you, Stephen.
Good night, everybody.
You set me up for that one,
I did.
my friend.
I did. That's what I do. Okay. Well, then that's book club for this week. Next week, like we said, the Orchard Village Catalog by Parker Peavy House. There will be a link in the show notes. I'm also throwing in a link, like I said, of that YouTube video from Joe Scott. It's really cool to have on just like in the background and listen to this guy because he just kind of talks science stuff. Talks a lot about what animals were sent into space before humans were. There's a bit of a trigger warning to that one because it takes quite a while until they start surviving, which is unfortunate, but is science. So it's in there. It's good stuff. You should check it out. All right. So with that, hey, my timer just hit the hour mark. Another fantastic episode, gentlemen. Next week, hopefully, we can get back to doing some future or now, because the article that Ben brought, I was excited to listen about, but I'll have to wait for that science.
I guess so.
Maybe next week, if as long as Devon doesn't take another crazy journey through ice storms and family drama, then maybe we can talk more science next week. We'll see. See how that works out.
Right.
Okay, so Devon, do you have any final thoughts for us about any of this stuff?
Well, I was thinking just more about the short story. It shows how clever, because you mentioned it already, Star Trek 4, where in Star Trek they can communicate with alien species, yet the most alien species they encounter, because they can't even come up with a translation, is on our own planet. And so they can't even come up with like any kind of close approximation. They have to literally go back and get more whales to talk to the alien probe. I thought this just reinforces how clever that plot was. So
yeah, that's good stuff.
Right on.
Ben, do you have any final words for us?
Well, nothing as nothing like what Devon was saying. That was really nice, Devon. But I think this weekend, you guys, I felt so proud of myself. I turned to my wife. I was like, hey, look, I haven't worn this in 15 years and it still fits. And my wife was like, the scarf?
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.